You can call me Muhammad or Hamid. If you have any question, anytime in the middle of the
That's it?
conversation, you can ask me. I will answer.
Thanks.
I will talk about little bit about his life here. Okay, do you have anyone have the idea about this guy? Who was he, or do you know about him? Yes. Who wrote the? Do you think any black person in 17th century wrote his biography and read by so many white people and black people? Do you think or not?
Yeah, I did.
Not.
But here is true. He did it. He achieved that, and he wrote his biography about him, and you will learn a lot more. He born in May 7th, 1745, in Nigeria. Why I'm here? Because I believe you are intelligent people. I don't want to make you bored, like my friends. You will have the time, you will see. He was not born as a slave, he was a free man. But his slavery was started in his childhood.
So he became a slave when he was a child?
Yeah.
But he was born free, right?
Why?
That will learn.
Oh, there we go.
Overview of life. Born in Nigeria, and later on he kidnapped and he traveled from Barbados to Virginia.
Barbados.
And he wrote the history
Whatever.
that was like a thrill of the century of the slavery. And he seen so many things, and he, not like us, he didn't stay quiet, and he write about it. Instead of getting angry like we do, he wrote about it. And he tried to tell other people what is slavery. And his journey of my freedom and the dark ways of dark era. That I'm going to tell you. When he was kidnapped at the age of 11 from Nigeria, and he was not the only one. So many thousands of other child was kidnapped on that time too. But he was kidnapped with his sister, and later on they were separated. And he was go from Barbados to Virginia. Over there he was he was purchased by a master called Michael Parshall.
Powder
He was a
monkey.
general in the Royal Navy. In the age of 11, a very young boy, we know our brother and sister, in the age of 11 or 12 or 13, they cannot do a lot of dangerous work and no one will put on that. But he got a very tough job. And powder monkey. Do you have any idea about the powder monkey? What is powder monkey?
Monkey with powder on his face.
Put you in powder and sleep.
Yeah, Mom. What is it?
But I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
What is powder monkey? It's a job. The British and on that time is kind of like army have the boys. They use for like put the gunpowder. They can hide because of they were small. They can hide from the enemy and they can hurt enemy a lot. they used them as a used to provide the gunpowder. And gunpowder we know is dangerous thing, and he was put on it. But he was fortunate slave. Can you believe it? A fortunate slave do you have any idea about the fortunate slave?
No, sir.
Any idea?
And someone was like, good master?
Lucky?
Let me tell you.
After the meeting.
On the same time, he had the very crucial time in his slavery, but he had the right to get the education. But in this present time, we know so many countries that it's hard to get the education. And he was in the 17th century, 1745 to in his lifetime, he was able to get the education even in slavery. His master sent him to London to get the education
Able to learn.
from her sister-in-law, from his sister-in-law, and able to read and write.
I think you misspelled that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's my weakness. It's okay,
You
but I can speak.
No problem.
Freedom was not given to me. We know slavery, but we don't know the value of the freedom because we born as a free man, free person, free girl or free boy, and we didn't sacrifice like that to get our freedom back, and because we born with it, and we think it's just like nothing is there, but he knows the value of the freedom because he born as a free man and went into slavery and he purchased his freedom back. That's the difference, and he knows the real value of the freedom. And at the age of the 20, he brought his freedom. How?
Money.
I want to give you like a background of little bit about it. He was educated and he served in an army, in a Britain army. And they promised slave and everyone that they will, if they win the war, they will free them. His royal master promised him, but later on, it didn't happen. And he went to slavery again. But on that time, king said, if you can afford 40 pounds and if you can give your master 40 pounds, you're free.
40 pounds of what?
No, 40 pounds, the money, the pounds, the currency of British money.
British?
I think we know better anyone else, or more than anyone else. And here is his life, like an open book and the chapter of the slave.
That's
He wrote the book, the interesting narrative of the life of Alejandro Iguano. He wrote about himself.
Looks like a
We
passport.
wrote
Right?
about, if we try to write about ourselves, we will not find that much interesting
Looks like a
because we just have fun
Yes.
and so many wishes and nothing else. But he knows, and he has the sacrifice and the terrible time of his life. His book was not just about him. It was thousands of people's voice that was closed by white people or slave master because they were not able to speak up. And do you think he was able to, when he was slave, he was able to speak?
No.
No.
Yeah, because he was educated, right?
Yeah, they sent him to school, right?
Because his master sent him to school.
Yeah. But at the same time, I will give you the idea, but I'm sick. Do you have
Whoa,
any idea about it? What is it?
No.
what's that?
Yeah, so you talk.
The thrill?
This is the thrill, and he opened up and he showed the other people what is slavery. This is slavery. We saw so many pictures of the slavery, but we were not able to see this picture. And the master put this thing in their mouth. That way they cannot speak, and they stay quiet and just work. And they were chained. That we like on a 4 ways, not 3. It's kind of horrible thing, more than animal. And that time, his book published in 1779, and he tear out the curtain of the slavery. People think on that time people thought slavery is just like a condition of is not a big deal. The slavery is okay, but he said it's okay, but if someone is human, then how can you take this kind of punishment and this kind of stuff? And the achievement of his life was his book, because he was the first African who wrote the biography about slavery and about himself. This is really achievement on 17th century. That was not almost, even on that time, a lot of white people don't have much education, and he wrote about a book about the very serious topic on, like he challenged the society with his book. Some quotes from his book. I want to read for you. We are the nation, dance, singer, and the poets. Dancer, singer, and poets. What does it mean? Can you summarize this quote for me, anyone? Volunteer? Because as we know, as our friends,
They're important or something?
as we have so many
No.
African friends with us, especially in New York, we have the better idea what he was saying. We know a lot of African are able to dance very well. We saw them in the trains. They can do a lot of better stuff than anyone else. I'm not joking. I'm serious.
Yeah.
And they can sing with the rhyme that is really hard to get the rhyme. And this is really, you can say, a heritage that just black people have it. And the poets. We know, if someone able to read the poetry, you should read about the poetry of African. That will be, you will see what he was saying. Because that have the power and imagination and the message that not all poets have in their poetry. And the second quote, but it's not the slavery trade entirely a war with the heart of man. And surely that which begin by breaking down the barriers of which involve in its continuous destruction to every principle and bursts all sentiments in ruin. He talk about, and he's saying here that slavery have like very bad things. He is not morally and socially is wrong, because it's destroying the humanity, it's destroying the sociality. Because we born same way, we all have the same thing, everything is same. Just because of our color, they suffer a lot. Again in slavery, can you believe a person who purchased his freedom and get again slavery?
Yeah. That's crazy.
On that time, I want to give you a little background of that. He was living in London on that time because he moved to London, and when he got his freedom after Britain winning the war. As I told you, he purchased his freedom. On that time, he was scared that he will not be safe in Britain. He flew to America. In Georgia, he was almost kidnapped and put in slavery again. But he proved his freedom by his paper and by his stuff that he had. And he proved that he was free man. And he purchased his slavery, not given by anyone else.
Stay of London City.
Because of that, he returned to Britain in 1772. On that time, there was a case that got the black people the black guy win the case, and after that, he was able to feeling more secure in Britain. That's why he returned to Britain, and he became a abolitionist, and he tried to stop slavery in 17. We read about the slavery in 1800, and we read about so many people, but he was in 1772 and 1795. The last thing they found about him that when he was living, it was hidden. No one knows about many people. We don't know where they live, but the last place they found it was London. That he found in his letter and stuff, and by the London government that he was living in 1992 in London city.
What? 1992?
Oh, sorry. So I put the wrong number.
17. It's okay, mommy. We're intelligent.
I can see.
Yeah, and you clarified that. That's good. Thanks.
I got this chapter of history ended here. His grave is there, and he died 1997, age of 52, in London. And this is the chapter we learned today. If anyone has any confusion, any question about it, go ahead.
How many times he was in slavery?
It was one time, because on second time he was almost getting into slavery, but he proved his freedom.
But that's not slavery. Almost. Not.
Almost slavery, you don't have that taste. That's why you don't know what does it mean.
Nice. That's a good one.
I missed the part, how did he buy his freedom?
On that time, his master allowed him to work, and his business was trading. And on that trade, he was able to earn the money on that time because he was educated and he know how to read and write, and he contributed in the Britain War. And he was not like a slave that don't know anything. He was very educated and very well known slave, and he was able to get his freedom back. That's great. He was able to earn the money.
How did he earn the money?
Where he used to work?
Because, and after that, his master offered him if he want to be a partner in his business, but he refused because he was scared. He was not sure that if maybe he will put him in slavery again.
So he had like a pretty good relationship with his master, right?
Not good relationship on that time. 1772. That was like a slave don't have that much strict rules on them and strict laws for them, because after around 1800 that time they have the strict laws. Because 1776 America United States we fight against the Britain and we win the war. That's why on that time the rule again started, and we know this thing. You know better than me.
So that's his book. Was his known for, right? That it was his biggest accomplishment.
Yeah, it was part of it. He had so many accomplishments, but it was like a bright accomplishment that you can rightly say.
Toughest priority.
Yeah, you can say it.
Good. Thanks.
How he died? Like natural causes?
because in a history that I read in many different Google, Wikipedia,
Thank you.
and so many London historical websites and biography, I couldn't find that how he died because I didn't find anything about it. And if you want the answer, I will try my best. I can give you my email.